GameStop has been making headlines this week with the possibility of them buying eBay. They've struggled over the last few years, but in 2021 they had a miraculous thing happen. Retail traders on platforms like Wall Street Bets on Reddit decided they wanted to, quote, stick it to institutional investors and hedge funds, and so what they did was they started buying up shares of GameStop, and they said that they were going to hold it no matter what. And they wanted to do that basically to get back at these companies that were shorting GameStop, which they grew up with and they enjoyed going to as kids, and really they just wanted to see succeed. So Steve, what do you think about this new strategy that they have of buying eBay? Do you think that this is going to be the equivalent of Blockbuster buying Netflix, or do you think this is just another strategy of a dying company trying to be relevant again?
I think more of the latter. You know, you look at companies that have had really a downturn, so many of them go belly up. And there's been a few that's really turned things around. And what comes to my memory is back in the early 90s, IBM, International Business Machines, was the first company to write off $1 billion. And that year they had a loss of about $8 billion. And so many people thought that they were going to go under. But they turned it around. They started focusing away from hardware, more on services. But probably the biggest company that comes to mind is Apple. You know, Apple was really struggling in the middle of the late 90s. And everybody was thinking at one time they may go under, and the stock got really cheap. But Steve Jobs ended up turning the company around. They produced products like the iPhone, and so the company has really become a blockbuster, one of the largest companies in the world. But most companies, to answer your question, do not turn it around where they're teetering on bankruptcy.
The interesting thing about this is they've got these cash windfalls that they've been able to get, and it looks like now they might finally be doing something with it. The problem with GameStop is that they've been setting up shop in these brick-and-mortar stores, and that's just not where people buy things anymore. And so the interesting thing about buying eBay and this platform that might be struggling on its own is maybe now they can start promoting their own things on there. Maybe now they can actually adapt and become relevant in the 2020s. And I just think that this could be a step in the right direction for previously meme stock to unmeme itself. Do you think that there is any sort of possibility that this could work for them? And if not, is there something that might be a better choice?
Yes, I do think it is a possibility, but I think it's going to be very small. See, what I believe GameStop is going to have to do, they're going to have to really reinvent themselves. They're going to have to start focusing more on fundamentals like earnings, margins. They're going to have to really try to rebrand themselves, kind of like Apple and the IBM did in the 90s. And I think just by buying eBay, that alone won't do that. It's got to be something that is really thought out that will turn this around. And I know it's a possibility, but I wouldn't bet on it.
This is just an age-old question of, should I buy this company if it's down and it looks like they're going to make a turnaround? And we don't like buying companies that are down, but what's something that you can look for, and what would be something that would make you optimistic about a company that's been beaten down over the long term, and maybe you think that they've still got a chance at coming back?
One of the first things you have to look at is the guy or the woman that is leading the company. Has that changed? Have they got new blood in there that has a new vision for the company? Is their plan on progressing, is it a good plan? And so we don't really know that. We know that they're trying to make a giant step, maybe in the right direction, but it's going to take so much more than that to get this company where it's really viable. I just don't believe that as a money manager that I would right now want to put my money in GameStop.
So again, just for full disclosure, we don't currently hold GameStop, and we don't really plan to in the near future or even in the distant future. But it is an interesting case to watch it and see what will happen if a well-known brand is able to officially unmeme itself. Like and subscribe for more interesting financial stories that you might not hear anywhere else.